That's the key pivot point I had in my life. It's the key pivot point I had in my life. And I'll go back to asking my partner to feel my heart, right? I wanted the heart-to-heart connection. The thing was, I didn't know, as I said, I didn't know how to convey what that even meant. So if I didn't know how to convey to my partner at the time what I even meant by that, then how in the world could they give me what I was asking for? Of course I was lonely because I didn't know who I was or what I needed from that space. I could feel the call, but the person I needed was me, not my partner. I didn't hear the call clearly. I kept going outside of myself and wanting to say, you're not showing up the way I needed you to. You're not showing up the way I need you now. Why are you not? Why are you not doing what I need? I feel this void. But the void I was actually feeling was understanding what I really required from me first, so that then I could establish the boundaries that I needed, the guiding principles that I needed in order to live my life from the inside out and then know what I was willing to receive from the outside in. I didn't have that clear parameter. I had no idea how I was steering my life. So yeah, I felt very lonely because I didn't have a clear driver's seat to be driving my life from. I couldn't look at myself. We talk about the mirror technique all the time. It's our number one tool if you ever do anything with us. I could not look myself in the eye and truly look at me and honor the person that I saw. So when we were talking about true connection, like that real connection, I had to start with a real connection with me. So again, I couldn't connect with another person deeply, thoroughly, authentically, because I wasn't connected to me deeply, authentically, 100%. And when I could get to a point where I could look at myself, know who I was as a soul, and then how that soul showed up as a human and what I desired to represent in the world, therefore I had guiding principles for how I would show up every day, what my personal characteristics were, how I would echo those out into the world, how I would let somebody else interact or engage with me, and what I would not permit in my life or my world. Then I could go out in friendships and my family relationships and my partnership and be able to say, this is what it means to connect with my heart and my soul. And things got a lot different from there. Because, yeah, maybe then I had a few deep connections. And those deep, deep connections were amazing. But then if I got put into a drive-by high party situation, if I didn't talk to anybody at a deep, deep level, it was okay because I wasn't lonely. I just realized that wasn't the context for where my soul or my heart was going to get filled. It was, okay, this is the scenario where everybody is going to be, hi, good to see you. And then I go home and I get my cup filled. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, it does. And what a beautiful explanation across the board. And I love how you talk about the mirroring that we do, especially on the externals to other people, whether it's our romantic partner or the people closest to us, where we say, you're not showing up in the way I need you, as a reason or blaming of the loneliness that we ourselves are feeling without taking some level of personal responsibility around it. And so that's a really good point, because I feel like you just hit the nail on the head there with the fact that it's, the reality is that if I were saying, hey, this is where I'm at, my actual response should be, I'm not showing up for myself in the way that I need it. And, and that's what you're saying. And I feel like that's such a beautiful flip the script, if you will. And in that sense, because yeah, we can't expect someone else to give us something we're not willing to give ourselves. And if we do that, then we're just setting ourselves up for failure and disappointment and resentment through that process. And the reality is that's all those feelings are bottling up, not because of someone else, but because because that's what we're doing to ourselves. And so when we can align what we need by being aware and take that extra time to be our own best friend, be fine with being alone. Being alone and being lonely aren't the same thing. And I think that's important to understand as well. If we are really good at being alone, then the feeling, what it means to be lonely or feel lonely can really, really shift. We're human. There's going to be moments in our lives where we are going to feel lonely, but that doesn't mean that we are alone or are lonely. Sorry. And so, for example, I grew up as an only child. I was alone a lot. I got used to being alone. I didn't realize that the level of loneliness I was feeling was because I wasn't connecting with other people, even when I was around a lot of other people. And I used this external to fill a void. The reality was I wasn't showing up for myself as what you're saying. When I started to show up for myself, then I was actually able to connect more with other people at a level that I never thought was possible, with you and with the people around me. And I got to see them at a greater capacity through that process as well. And they got to see me at a greater capacity, which is beautiful. But now, yeah, there are moments where, again, we're at a party and it's like, hey, I actually just I haven't seen you in a while. I want to get to understand what's been going on over the last 2-3 years that I haven't seen you. Give me a deep dive, but it's the high by, drive by, and it's just not possible. And so there's that quick feeling of like, oh, I feel lonely in that because I want to connect and I want to be there and I want to support and I want to understand what's going on, just because I don't know, that's what it means to be a good friend. And so, but those pass really, really quickly for that reason, is because I'm not using it as a crutch. I'm not using the external to fill a void. Like you're saying, I know the ways in which I'm able to fill my own cup, that I'm not reliant on something externally. And that's a huge, huge shift. And it's hard to take on the feeling when you're already not feeling great, to take on the feeling that loneliness is a personal responsibility. That's a hard pill to swallow.